up everyone, TJ here. Today we're out at Copper testing out the GNU Gremlin. Let's get into it. All right, real quick for reference, before I jump into the tech, I'm 5'10", I weigh around 155 pounds, and I'm riding the Gremlin in a 155. This is gonna be an all mountain focus board on the GNU lineup, and it does have a directional design to it. You're gonna find a directional outline, so a noticeably longer nose than tail outside the contact points, giving the board more surface area up front. It has a slight taper, about 12 millimeters of taper at a 155, so that tail is gonna be a little bit narrower than the nose of the snowboard, reducing the surface area in the back of the snowboard. And it runs a setback stance as well, so the insert packs are shifted 2 inches closer to the tail, naturally keeping your weight further back on the snowboard. Those are all things that are gonna help the board out in soft snow and just provide a better experience on those deeper days. You're gonna find a camber dominant profile in this one. It runs their C3 profile, so from contact point to contact point overall, it is gonna be positive camber, but there is a mild reverse camber section between the feet. So starting kind of right under your feet through the middle section of the snowboard, it has a mellow reverse camber, something that I think we're gonna feel when we're carving this thing, but also gonna create some nice flex zones when we're trying to do some flat ground stuff or any kind of presses, or even just helping give more leverage for loading up ollies and getting more energy and snap out of the snowboard. This board does run a mild volume shift as well, so they recommend to ride this board about 2 centimeters shorter than you would ride your typical all mountain board. So they're reducing some of the length of the board, but increasing the width. So it's gonna increase the overall surface area, which is also gonna help offer more float on those deeper days, offer a nice benefit for being able to lay the board over more aggressively for carving, or also just be a nice benefit if you're a rider with a larger boot size to help eliminate heel and toe drag. But the main idea with this design is to increase the surface area and improve the float and experience on those deeper days. And at a 155, it is a significantly wider snowboard than most at this size. It's gonna be 26.4 centimeters at the waist. One other thing I wanna highlight, as with pretty much all Mervin made snowboards, this thing does run magnet traction. It's gonna have their 7-point mag, so 5 added contact points throughout the side cut with your 2 main contact points in the nose and tail, bringing that total number up to 7. It's gonna be mellower, closer to the tips, and more aggressive in the center of the snowboard. You can actually see it looking down the side cut. It's gonna have like a wavy, serrated type edge. And the idea with that is to help provide more grip and more control and a more confident feel in like icy, firm, or treacherous conditions. Definitely something that's great to have on a more all mountain focused board, and something that in my experience is very, very noticeable. This thing is gonna have great edge hold even on those more firm, icy days. And the last thing I want to highlight is that this board does run a sintered base, which is known to be a higher end base material that's harder, faster, and more durable compared to an extruded base. You do want to make sure to wax it regularly to maintain a nice consistent glide out there, but always good to see that in the construction. So that's it for a quick tech breakdown. We're gonna get these laps going and I'll check back in with you guys later on. All right, flex-wise, I found this board to be a pretty solid mid-flex that leans a little bit to the stiffer side of medium. It's gonna come through with some great stability and is very capable for exploring the entire resort. Whether you're hitting more techie alpine terrain or some high-speed groomers, this is gonna have a very confident, in-control feel with a decent amount of precision as well. It's not gonna be the most buttery board. You know, it's gonna make you work a little bit more to get that flex. You're gonna have to pay attention to your edges with the precision you're gonna find in this one. But if you have some experience with it, you can definitely have fun playing around with that kind of stuff. And it does come through with some great pop and snap as well. It's got a pretty explosive pop to it, in my opinion. Really, any energy you're able to load up in this board, it's gonna give it back, and it's gonna help get you in the air, which is a lot of fun, and I think kind of enhances that freestyle vibe that you're gonna find in this one as well. This one is fun with a freestyle approach, both in and out of the park. I did spend some time in the terrain park at Copper as well, and with the directionality you're gonna find in this snowboard, I think it's a little bit more novelty to do some proper park laps. That combined with the more powerful feel I'd say it's a little bit more jump leaning. It's definitely capable of stepping up to some larger features. You're gonna get plenty of stability out of this one, and can still be fun hitting rails and steel features as well. Although if you're gonna be doing that, I'd say make that mental adjustment for this longer nose to make sure you're not clipping up on things. I didn't find the magnet traction to really get in the way, getting sideways on rails either. But for me personally, if I was gonna buy this board, I think I'd actually size down to the 152. I think that'd make it much more maneuverable and freestyle, which is my personal preference, and something to keep in mind if you're choosing between different sizes, if you're going to go for a more freestyle approach or a more all mountain approach with the Gremlin. But I don't think sizing down would really impact the all mountain performance that much. You would just lose a little bit of stability and width. And aside from being a very capable all-around resort explorer, one of the biggest highlights for me with the Gremlin is the carving experience. So at size 155, you're gonna find a 7.2 meter side cut, a little bit tight for an all mountain board, but still a very versatile side cut. And you're also gonna get a 26.4 centimeter waist. So I think that's one of the big things to consider with the Gremlin. It does have that volume shift going on, so it has that added width. Great if you have a larger boot size, and also dramatically enhances the carving experience in my opinion. That combined with the directionality as well. So you can really lay this board over to some aggressive edge angles. It has excellent edge hold, that magnet traction, regardless of where you're at in firm icy conditions or like a pristine groomer. It really bites down very, very well. You can really trust the edge on this one. And if you're the type of person that enjoys that, like more Euro carve, aggressive style of carving, or wants to try to like drag their ass on a heel side carve, this is a board that might be able to unlock that for you, because if you've ever tried it, you know, it's pretty challenging. Other than that, I think you can open this board up to some higher speeds and have a nice confident feel. It's not gonna get pushed around. You're not really gonna be finding much chatter in it. And it's just a very strong carver, whether you're in some excellent carving conditions or trying to power through some more chopped up variable snow. This is a board that's gonna have your back and something you can really trust as you get this thing on edge. It was a huge highlight for me with the Gremlin. And I was able to get this board out in some pretty deep conditions out here in Colorado as well. And I gotta say, it does float well. It's got that directional shape, that setback, taper, and the width all working together to help keep this board floating on top of soft snow. If all you've ever ridden is twins in powder, this is gonna be a game changer. But I will say it does have a little bit of a boaty feel to it. That full positive camber with the width do make it a little bit sluggish, so it's not the most nimble board in POW, but if you're looking for like a one board solution that you could really take out anywhere, any day, even on a really deep day, this board's gonna come through for you. But not gonna be the same experience as a powder specific snowboard, but still a really fun powder board and very capable in that condition as well, in my opinion. Overall, I think the Gremlin's gonna be best suited for those of you that have a little bit of experience under your belt. It's a more intermediate and up kind of snowboard, and would be a really fun one to add to the quiver if you're looking for a wider shape that's very versatile, comes through with some good stability, and is a ripping carver. Or if you're just interested in trying out a volume shifted shape as well. This is a really fun one. So if that sounds like you, consider the GNU Gremlin. I'm gonna have this one linked down below if you wanna learn more about it. Leave any questions you have for me down in the comments, or if you have a chance to ride this thing, let us know what you think about it down there as well. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out today. Please drop a like and subscribe before you leave if you got some value. I'll see you in a new review next time. Later, guys.